to be here.
I'm too pro to watch this
Seriously.
game.
He's confusing with all the names and stuff that he does.
It's true. It's true.
So
All right. Well, what do you think is the key to the Royal Knights to win this next game?
keep up the ward coverage from early game, carry that into the mid and the late game so that you know where everybody's at, you have the control of the map. Um, the team comp wasn't bad. I think it was all right. Make sure that Amumu's able to get in and gank. I'd like to see some ward clearing from them early. We saw pink wards out of two men a lot that game. In bot lane, we saw pink ward in the try, and that allows for Sedge to come in and gank. I would like to see pink wards come out of the Royal Knights so that Amumu's ganks are successful. We saw the only time Amumu was able to gank that bot lane, it was pretty much one time, and it was because there were no wards there. So, just be active in clearing those wards, fight over the wards, stuff like that.
I agree. I think that we're going to need to see a lot more out of them. First of all, they have to shut down Noobs this game. Not shut him down, at least limit what he was able to do. And then secondarily, I would say that they have to have a more prosperous bottom lane. And then that's about it.
Yeah, bot wasn't horribly behind. MF did a great job late game of team fighting and picking up a bunch of kills. So, it's not that he was completely outclassed. I think that he just had a rough start. We saw Sejuani bot a little more often. Although neither team really focused on Sejuani bot, or Sejuani didn't really focus on bottom either. We saw her spend a lot of time mid, which I'm not sure about because of Ryze. His stun makes it really hard for him to gank, or makes it really hard for you to gank him. There's the Anivia ban again. And the Cho'Gath ban. So
They are target banning Noobs will own you and Nivea just in general. And then the Ari goes down. That has to be a target ban. That's the second time they've done that. Second time they've also banned Twisted Fate. They probably will stick with their same ban simply because they won. And then the Thresh ban goes down. So they choose not to ban Vladimir. And we'll see what they do to kind of counteract that later on.
I'm not sure that banning Thresh. I mean, Thresh is really solid ban choice, but I mean, we're talking about some of these players in the tournament. They're not even level 30. I believe everybody in this game is, but we're talking about a lot of kids or a lot of players that might not even have Thresh as part of their repertoire. So I'm not sure about the Thresh ban unless Angry Angular or Angry Angler it is Angular. I was right the first time.
Whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But I think he's played Sona for most of the tournament, actually. So
the last ban actually went to Miss Fortune. Do you think that they were a little bit afraid of what she started to do late game and decided to ban her because of that?
I don't know. I have a problem justifying, or not justifying. That doesn't make sense. I guess justifying would work. I have a problem justifying the banning of AD carries. So I don't know.
I think if you're going to ban any AD carry, Miss Fortune may be the one to do it, just simply because of her ultimate and how devastating that can be if you have a full team locked down. We do see one change already off the bat, and that's a Nautilus jungle with Amumu still out on the board. I don't know if that is the correct response, but we'll get to see what and Blitzcrank actually gets picked. This may be huge.
Yeah, I mean they banned out the Thresh, but no Blitz ban this time. I think they were pretty safe in assuming that there wasn't going to be a swap on the other side. But I do like the Leona pick. She's pretty tough to deal with, but Blitz can just give you so many headaches. And not only is he great in lane phase, but he's a champ that can really make a difference in team phase, catching people. If the ward coverage is really good, he'll be able to catch people over walls, force unfavorable fights for the enemy team. But I'm looking here at the stats from the first week, and we have a Captain's Verdict, I believe. Is that? Yeah, Captain's Verdict. He's playing Graves now. He played Miss Fortune, had a really good game week 1. Played Caitlyn, had not such a good game. So we're going to see him play Graves. Maybe he's just plays a crap load of Miss Fortune, and they know that. Maybe they were worried that he was really the only big threat with the Amumu Miss Fortune combo. Maybe they also thought that they were gonna take Amumu again, and so the Amumu Misfortune combo is just too strong, so they wanted to take away one of those champs, but not Amumu. Because Amumu can be fairly easily counter jungled. So if he's not played right with good ward coverage, you can really shut him down in the jungle.
A lot of people don't necessarily know how to build him either. They try to go tank too early, or they go too much AP, and he kind of caught in this thing where he doesn't jungle very quickly, but then again, he's not that tanky, or he's too tanky early, so he doesn't jungle very quickly at all, and then he gets counter jungled, and then he doesn't actually really get that tanky late game. But one thing that I do think is interesting is you almost see a completely different team from blue team here. I believe this is Royal Knights. Royal Knights decided to pretty much switch it up 100%, but you see the Varus and the Lux still go down for purple team. And I don't know if that necessarily bodes well for blue team, feeling that they need to change every single champion in their lineup. And you do see Amumu potentially going down for the other team now.
Yeah, it is also Royal Knights of the Rift. So that was my bad from earlier. Just
it is
found that out. But yeah, I've been forgetting to put this overlay up. We have a new overlay for Champ Select. It is not bad. It's still being worked on, but I wanted to use it, so there is that. So I apologize for not using it. It's pretty spiffy. Makes us feel special.
Pretty spiffy. And I don't need to feel any more special. If I felt any more special, I'd be riding a short bus to a school. And I don't.
I was going to say I like to see Kha'Zix. He's a good champ, but I don't like to see him picked against Elise. I think that is a dangerous choice for them. Unless he honestly thought that Noobs Willonia was going to play Blitzcrank top lane.
Well, I think that they're going to take Luxor is going to go mid again, like he did last time, because I believe he was rising.
Oh, he was mid? I apologize.
So Captain Awesome will be top lane against Noobs Willonia with Galio, which I've actually not had too much experience with those two in lane against each other. I would have to assume that it is not a great lane for either one.
I was going to say it could be hard for Elise because Galio's AP scales off of his magic resist, but Elise just does base damage, percent of health damage, so we'll have to see how it plays out. Both like to get pretty tanky. So.
But he is a magic resist tank, though. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see exactly how much damage her Q does, and exactly how they build to suit each other. Either way, you see that they still have a Blitzcrank and they do have an Amumu, so they're going to be very potent late game with way they initiate. If he gets one hook, it's going to be pretty much game over for Royal Knights. And at the same rate, they do have a Leona, so she is going to be able to control the flow of the game. They do have the ultimate from Galio, the Idol of Durand, I believe it's called. And so it's going to be very pivotal for that blue team to play well, because they don't have the easy lockdowns that the wacky waving inflatable arm flailing two men do.
Yeah, I mean between Blitzcrank and Amumu and Elise, there's going to be a lot of potential peeling for Varus. The knockup from Blitz is just it's insane, and then the grab you could keep people away from Varus for days with his Chain of Corruption. So I really like the combo, the stun out of Lux, like you were saying. It's just there's so much hard crowd control from Wacky Waving Inflatable Two Men that I think that unless the Royal Knights of the Rift get up ahead quickly, I think that their team comp is just not as good. So I'm not sure. Nautilus kind of falls off a little bit late game. He'll be really strong in the jungle at level 6. But if he doesn't really get his lanes fed and really, really ahead, then there might be some trouble there.
And I also noticed the cleanse from Graves. I think I disagree with that as well, because he doesn't have the killing power, and he doesn't have barrier on top of that. So he can't really cleanse a blitz hook. I mean, maybe you can cleanse a blitz hook midway through. I'm not sure, but there's really nothing that he can cleanse in that lane. I think the safer pick would have gone barrier, give him a little bit more tankiness. As you see, Varus did go barrier, and so it'll be interesting to see if that cleanse ever does come into play. I don't see a situation where it could, unless he gets Lux bound or he's doing it to counter late game Amumu, but we'll have to see. His range is so short, I think he's going to be very susceptible to CC regardless of that cleanse.
Yeah, I have to agree with that statement. I agree with a lot of your statements, but this one I have to agree wholeheartedly with. I think that the barrier on Graves is really good in lane because Graves is already a champion that can play extremely aggressively with his dash and his buckshot. He does a lot of. He's very bursty, does a lot of damage, and so I like to see him played with barrier. You can bait people to stay and fight you, and you're just tons of damage come out of him. So you can often get that first blood with barrier, but I'm not sure. I understand the cleanse decision. He is looking to cleanse late game Lux or a Moo or even the Varus' Chain of Corruption or the Elise's spider webby thingy majigger that I don't know what it's called because she's OP.
I think you nailed it actually right there.
Yeah. But so I mean the cleanse isn't horrible. It could allow him late game, to cleanse himself and get out of fights to turn around and position himself better. But I think it's going to make him struggle early game because he can't really use it to level 6. There's really no use.
Yeah, exactly. And then Varus will have that for the trade. He's going to have the barrier off the bat. And I think that if he was planning on using cleanse for the Varus ult, I don't think that would. I mean, the Chain of Corruption is really not going to really impact him getting away or engaging into that fight anymore. If he's caught by that Chain of Corruption, Blitz is going to have a knock-up on him already. So the point is, against a Blitz, is just not get caught. If you don't get caught by the Blitz, they don't really get. He's kind of useless if he doesn't land his grabs. So having cleanse is to me just a bad decision.
I'd also like to point out that this time we're going to be seeing Sad Robot Amumu. So we're going to see if Sad Robot Amumu is better than Little Knight Amumu. And Sad Robot Amumu is probably one of the coolest skins in the game. We see again the Arclight, Varus, some pretty cool skins coming out of the. I gotta switch the team names in a second, but we have Enchanted Galio, I believe, and nothing bot lane that's special, or Kha'Zix. Mega Kha'Zix would be sweet, but they don't have them. But we do see Astronautilus, personally one of my favorite skins. So yeah.
No, he literally talks about Astronautilus like all the fucking time. And there's the pool of Graves through. A beautiful job. He fails to flash back through, and he's going to die and give a lot of gold directly to Varus off the bat.
And that's just really, really frustrating because he's just going to be so far behind now. Varus is going to level before him and have that extra poke out, the extra damage out. He'll be able to stack his Blight and pop it at level 2. And that's what we're talking about. He comes over here, he puts down, is that an Explorer Ward? I can't tell. Yeah, that's an Explorer Ward. They put it down in the bush. A lot of times people like to walk up and check this bush, and against Blitzcrank, that is a bad idea.
I know when me and you used to play ranked a lot in ranked 5s, I believe, we used to wait in that bush almost every single game, and 90% of the time you'd get a kill doing it. So I think it was a great play. It must have been an orchestrated play by, I don't know which team is which at this point. That was 2-man, correct?
Yeah, 2-man has Varus. Yeah, 2.
Yeah, so two men start off as a great start already. Almost 600 gold ahead.
Oh man, I have the chat is stuck on my screen. There we go. I'm just gonna swap the names around. All right, and we have 2 men on the right. So take that down and give the right team 1 point.
That kill was so early. I almost challenged Varus's decision to not go back and buy. Coming into lane with like the supposed 2 Dorn's Blades or Dorn's Blade and boots would have made him that much more potent in lane. But maybe he's saving up for his Vamp Scepter or whatever his first item will be. So we'll have to see what that is.
Yeah, I agree with you. I would have loved to see maybe, probably 2 Dorn's Blades, but a Dorn's Blade boots and 3 pots is never a bad thing. Actually, he could have got 4 because the minions had spawned, and he would have been able to buy that 4th pot and get back to lane with the boots. But yeah, so I'm not sure about the decision. It's not a horrible one. If he continues to keep winning his lane, and Nautilus is going to take a ton of turret damage, his entire shield will not be able to absorb all of it. But he's already winning the poke battle here, so it's okay. I think it's just going to let him get out of BF Sword faster, or let him get out of Zeal faster. Whatever his preference is. A lot of times you see people go BF Sword, Phantom Dancer before they finish their main attack damage item on Varus, just because his attack speed is so good.
And we see the top lane here. I've seen several pokes come down from Noobs, but he's doing it just well enough to not run out of mana, and it's not doing a whole ton of damage to Galio early, but he is winning that poke battle a little bit, but he's losing the CS battle, so that will be a lane to watch.
Yeah, definitely interesting lane. I almost half expected Noobs and Cowman to switch. Cowman is an extremely good mid, but once Kha'Zix, he has his combo up now, so he could be extremely aggressive. Once Lux misses her stun, he can go in and just do a ton of damage to her and just get right back out, or without worry of any repercussions. There's her Q, I believe, or no, her E. I'm sorry. There's her E, so he could probably go in, do some damage to her, and get away. I mean,
if you look bottom lane, we actually see Graves getting pulled, knocked up, and Amumu gets the grab off. So Graves will die bottom lane.
Yeah, and that was even through the ward. That's just how good Blitzcrank is. You have to always be behind minions. He chose to run through the bush. Not a good idea. It's warded anyways. You probably should have known that it was warded. But yeah, so now Varus is just going to get out of control. This could be dangerous, very dangerous. I mean, Agent Smith has shown he's a player that can play extremely well when he gets fed, and so he might be able to carry his team to a victory just from the first 5 minutes of this game. Amuma's looking to gank here. There's the stun from Lux. Now he goes in with
almost gets it. He almost gets onto Kha'Zix, but the minion was sitting in the way, and Lux takes 3 turrets hits, and actually they lose that trade because of how much turret damage she took.
Yeah, and she also used her Ignite Up on Kha'Zix, so I mean he has good sustain in lane with his W when he's standing right next to minions and uses it. So yeah, I think that he should be out trading her as far as the matchup goes. I believe that Kha'Zix gets the edge, but it will come down to the skill of the player. But that's, like I said, I would have liked to see Elise go mid and Lux go top, because I think the matchups would have been much more in their favors.
We'll have to see it. Captain Awesome definitely is playing
awesome
well
captain.
top lane. He is.
That too.
He is a little bit ahead of Elise, and if anybody's played against Elise, she can be extremely annoying. So because a lot of her spells do a lot of damage, and then her spells in her spider form have absolutely no mana cost whatsoever. So she's almost impossible to trade with, if not absolutely impossible to trade with. And he grabs the Leona, which was the wrong thing to do. They immediately go onto the Varus. And it looks like they win that trade because of a bad grab by Blitz.
Yeah, he's got to flash out. Nautilus missed his Q, or his anchor, which is a pretty hard thing to do there, is to miss that anchor. It's got a really wide range, as opposed to like a Thresh Hook or a Blitzcrank grab. So yeah, I'm not sure about that, but yeah, the grab on Leo, she made a good decision to immediately engage on Varus, and that just shows you, even though he's down 2 kills, that's just how bursty Graves is. He's only got double Dorns to a BF sword and a Dorn's blade, and he's still trading fairly efficiently. He is starting to fall behind in CS, however.
And we also see Noobs Wallonia starting to get a little bit of a dose of her own medicine there, or his own medicine there, because Elise is a little bit weaker in that trade against Galio. And we'll have to see if this is a successful gank, and it should be. There he goes. He gets up on it. I don't know. It's hard to understand what's going to win here. I've never seen this lane matchup, but she will die here. And it looks like both of those players will get away free.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the decision to stay and fight. His flash was down, though, so he probably couldn't have got away. So it might just do as much damage as you can. Force him to back so he doesn't get extra farm and CS. Or extra farm and XP, I guess. But, yeah, just needs to have better ward coverage up there. Nautilus has been up there a couple times. Amumu is forced to flash out of the jungle because of
the jukes from Amumu, but he does have to use his summoner spell, and Graves almost gets blitz hooked.
He does have a ward here, though, so I think he's going to go back. Or, yeah, Lux is going to try and snipe this with her ult. Kha'Zix is walking in, face-checking too there, and he's going to die. And
he's going to fail flash, and the blue is going to get smoten, smotedly. It's going to get taken, is generally what I'm trying to say, by the correct jungler. And that was a good job to turn a bad situation and make it not absolutely terrible.
Yeah, I mean, if Kalman had a little bit more discipline there, and there was a ward there. There was no danger of Kha'Zix not dying. but he could have waited another few seconds. I mean, he might have been able to line up a shot to get both blue and Kha'Zix. If it comes down to blue or Kha'Zix, just take Kha'Zix. No big deal.
Kha'Zix did waste his flash and his jump. So there was absolutely no worry of him getting away alive.
Yeah, he did. He failed his flash into the wall and then jumped over it, which I'm not sure why he didn't just go up and jump over it in the first place.
If you look at the top lane, it is a slugfest, as I commonly like to call it. You see Elise starting pretty much the same build as Galio, and I think that benefits Galio just because he benefits from that a little bit more than she does. But as the game goes on, she will be able to deal more damage than he does.
I want to point out, though, that both mid and bot lane for Royal Knights of the Rift are behind, and this is the what I'm talking about here. Angry Angular's been doing a great job buying pinks and clearing wards, and that is what this bottom lane for the Royal Knights needs to do if they want to stay in this lane or stay in this game. I'm sorry. And I don't know that I agree with the decision for Nautilus to spend so much time up top. It looks like he's going to go down there. There's a bunch of fights going on now. Blitz is going to go under turret for Graves. He flashes out and does not die. And Varus picks up the killing spree. Nautilus also gets away, so nobody dies top lane. Amumu's going to dive under the turret. And Elise is going to get... It's going to be very close. I think she's going to pick up the kill here. And there's the snare.
Will. Actually, no, he actually used the shield and blocks completely one of her spells, and he gets away.
That was a beautiful play. Now she's a little overextended, and in comes Kha'Zix, but I think she's just going to be able to walk away from this one. Oh, he ults to get the slow off on her, ignites her. It's a questionable fight.
And she will die.
Yeah, Amumu just left him alone there. Bad
she has nowhere to go. He needs to stand right on top of it, and he doesn't. He lets her get away, but she does die.
I don't know why she turned around and walked back into him. I'm not sure about that decision either. I don't know if Kha'Zix if Luxor didn't understand that he was going to come right back down. But because he went top, this looks like it might result in a mid-turret. No, there's the TP in from Galio, and they're going to force Lux out of here.
Oh, he's going to get the grab on Lux, and Lux may actually die here. No, she flashes and gets away. Sorry about the bark you heard earlier. That was Peapot. He is now sitting on my lap and helping me cast the game.
Not give up a kill for no reason. She did a lot of damage to this mid turret here. So there it is, over halfway. So it's always a good thing when you start damaging the turrets, even if you don't take them. This bot lane is getting a lot of pressure, and this is what I'm talking about. Nautilus needed to be in this bot lane a lot earlier because now Varus has 3 kills, and even with the gank, Blitz is just so good. It's going to be tough for them to deal with. Flashes out because this pink ward. He knows where they're at. I don't think he needed to flash there, but he was worried about the Zenith Blade from Leona catching him.
And or the Chain of Corruption from Varus.
He is
snagging
Varus,
both of them.
So
oh, that was Varus. Okay,
he could have flashed from himself.
Flashed from himself? I would have flashed from myself if I saw myself.
I flash away from my own Chain of Corruption. Blitz is looking to grab, and Graves just dashes out of the way just in the nick of time.
One thing we did notice that is different from this game to last game is, one, the kills are not racking up as quickly, even though the aggression seems to be just about the same. In addition to that, top lane is not being absolutely dominated by News Wallonia like it was last game.
I mean, he's still zoning pretty hard on this Galio. I think that's why Nautilus has been top so much. But you could tell, even though News Wallonia has died twice, I feel like he could have died one less time. And Lux is in a bad position here in the mid. She gets caught out. That's because there are no wards right there.
Or will she?
Oh,
yes, she will.
But gets caught out. Now Lux has no wards here. She knows that almost everybody's missing in this game right now. And you just need to see better ward coverage from middle lane. And things like that are what's going to put this blue team ahead. And this is another fault of News Wallonia because there was a ward down here in the river, and just not paying attention and he missed it. Flashes out, might be a bad decision. Nope, he's going to get away. They do not chase. I think that Nautilus could dive him at this point, so I think he just needs to back off, throw his W.
But it seems like they are just not watching their wards, their coach, because they definitely have the coverage. They definitely have the wherewithal to know that they're there. They just don't back off in time.
News Wallonia thinks he teleported up to turret, but he did not. His teleport has 2.5 minutes left on cooldown, so just wanted to point that out. But purple teams looks like they're going to pick up a dragon here. So yeah, and they're going to be able to see. Yeah, Blitz is going to be able.
And
to
it looks like Nautilus is still camping top. I had to keep that on the mini map, but it does look like purple team here will go get dragon, and those are the type of objectives that make it very difficult. And it looks like she will die trying to get this kill. Oh no, he gets away with a sliver of health.
Yeah, he missed his spider webby thingy-majigger, and it just did not land. If he would have landed it, then he surely would have picked up the kill on Galio. But yeah, I think that by Nautilus camping top and not turning over any kills, he's just letting his bottom lane get out of control, and kind of a bad decision in my opinion.
Yeah, either way, it's kind of like pick your poison, though, because last game, the Vladimir is what really pushed that game, the late game, and wreaked a lot of havoc. But and now it seems to be the bot lane, so it seems like damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. We'll have to see if it does pan out for him shutting down Noobs Wallonia late game, because I think Galio, with his taunt, his Idol of Duran, will be very, very potent late game, may even neutralize that Varus, but he is snowballing out of control with his items and his CS.
Yeah, my biggest problem with his decision to camp top instead of bottom is that Galio is not a champion that is going to necessarily carry your team. I'm not saying that he can't do it, but it's less likely. Galio is one of the very rare AP tanks, so it's an interesting choice to camp for the tank. I think that you tell Galio, hey, just be really tanky and farm passively with your Q. Use your pew pew laser eyes to do the deeps to the creeps, and we're gonna feed the bot lane.
I think you also have to keep in mind that Elise, at least just partly kind of justify their decision here, is that Elise can carry a game, though. And by camping top, you're not only helping Galio, you're also helping... Oh, and it looks like a Mumu here will not trigger his ult. He does now, a little bit later than I was anticipating, but he does receive the intended effect. And it looks like both will get out, and there'll be a double kill here. Actually got turned on.
Yeah, that was... really close. Blitz just wasn't there in time. Bot lane just kind of hesitated. They already had their turret down, so I think they should have either pushed extremely hard, but probably they should have just came up. Because they were already ahead, if they group first, they pretty much win. Varus is going to pick up the kill on Graves, but I think he's going to give up. Yeah, he's definitely going to die here. No, he's going to pick up the double. In comes the TP from Galio, though, and there's the Idol of Duran. And Varus is still alive. He does give shutdown gold out, but it is to Nautilus.
And it does even up the kills. It does even up the kills, but there's still a 4,000 gold advantage for two men.
Yeah, Varus is 5-1 now with 117 CS. He's way ahead of everybody else in terms of CS in this game. And it was actually, I wanted to comment on that ultimate by Amumu, how he waited, and Varus picks up his Zeal, an entire Zeal out of that exchange. So it's pretty good for him, even though the kills are evened up, and Noobs Wallonia is going to take top turret. But back to Amumu, waiting to ult under that turret was an extremely good play. It forced them to take extra turret damage. It let Lux get out. Lux just missed her ult. If her ult, it only hit oh geez, who was under there? It only hit one of them. It missed Kha'Zix, just barely missed Kha'Zix.
I think it killed Leona outright.
Yeah, it did kill Leona. It killed Leona and it hit Nautilus, but it just barely missed Kha'Zix. If she would have landed the ult and hit all three of them, I think that she would have lived there because of how long Amumu waited to throw down his ultimate. Either way, I think it was a good decision on his part. Kha'Zix is just really hard for Lux to deal with. He did a great job of jumping in, and then he is level 11, so I believe he did max, or I believe he did evolve his, yeah, he has the wings, he evolved his jump, so when he got the kill on Lux, he was able to jump back out and then flash away from the turret, but he was really close to dying there, so it's still a good play.
Yeah, I think that he would have achieved the same thing had he ulted earlier, just simply because he actually ults up again. He is going to, I don't know whether to keep him at bay or what the case is, but they're going to force the Leona into the fight here, and I think that was a really bad decision to grab Leona. And it looks like she will just get away with one hit point left.
That was really, really close. They just forced it a little bit too much there. So yeah, I don't know. There's not much to say.
It's these type of mistakes that two men are making, but they're not being capitalized on by the Royal Knights, and I don't think it's because they don't want to. It's because they just can't.
Very close to catching a Mumu, but instead he grabs himself into a turret shot. But yeah, that's also another thing that I think if Nautilus makes a mistake like that, misses a Mumu, hits the turret, pulls himself in, Elise is right there to stun him. You know, that's two or three turret shots if she lands that stun, plus both of her Qs. So I mean, it could be a lot of damage there and force Nautilus to go back instead of allowing him to go into the jungle. So even small things like that will give their team the edge.
Yeah, in addition to that, her cocoon is also linked to her repel. So as soon as she switches to spider form, she's able to catch up and then deal a intense amount of damages right on top of their team. So being caught out by the blitz like this is going to result in a lot of really bad plays just because of the team comp.
Yeah, I like the grab there on Nautilus. That's okay. But as soon as he saw Kha'Zix come in, he should have knocked up Kha'Zix instead of Nautilus. A little bit of misdecision on the support's part, but that's okay. I want to point out that even though the score is close in terms of kills, with 3 turrets and a dragon, that puts 2 men up 5,000 gold at under 20 minutes. So that is a significant lead right now. And in my opinion, they have a much harder composition for Royal Knights to deal with. And they're doing a great job of ward clearing here, and they have great ward coverage.
And they have a pink on dragon. It looks like they're going to get another dragon and just extend that gold even further.
Yeah, and even if they didn't have it, I think they should have just went for the dragon, but they're going to catch Graves out here. That's okay also, because and he pulls him away to kind of safety, but not quite safety. I think that was a bad pull.
Baked it away here. Nope.
So close. Will he burn down? No. Blitz is going to chase. He flashes. Yeah, he does. He gets the kill. He stole a kill from his AD carry, though, right there by pulling
really
away.
Did. He stole it from him twice. Is the funny thing.
I want to point out, Nuzaloni is doing a great job of handling 4 people right now. Kha'Zix is going to back, so it's going to be 3 on 1 top. They're going to chase him under a bunch of turrets. And if they get this turret, so what? Because, well, maybe not now, because 2 men needs to just group and, yeah, push in that mid and push in that bot lane and pick up another 2 turrets, and that's definitely worth the top turret, in my opinion, the tier 2 turrets.
Well,
even
that,
1, let alone 2.
Royal Knights is suffering from a tunnel vision here. It seems like they really wanted to shut down noobs. They tried to shut down noobs. They kind of succeeded at shutting down noobs, but then they lost everywhere else. So, and they are going to get top turret here. And even if they don't trade mid turret for it, it still was not worth the dragon and the kill on Graves.
I don't know if maybe they were just worried about losing the game without taking a turret. If that was it. Beautiful stun by Elise to keep himself alive.
And these are the type of opportunities I'm talking about. We've seen several times either it's Lux, either it's a Mumu, or now at Elise getting away with just slivers of health left.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Tubin was doing during that. When there were 3 top, they should have just, the other 4 should have just grouped and shoved in a lane. Bot lane's not shoving. Mid was shoving, but it was a Mumu versus Kha'Zix there for a little while, and looks like they're gonna pick off this Nautilus in the jungle here. There's the immovable for just Nautilus. I don't know that I agree with it.
that was quite the ride there.
Yeah, he goes along with the ride with the Q, and Lux basically bails on him, but she does get the stun off, so he's gonna live and blitz with a miss on the grab. But sometimes you have to miss crank.
Miss crank.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
And because of the great ward
Blitzcrank
coverage,
is playing really well. He got the 1 kill on Graves, the 1 death, and 5 assists, and he already has a sight stone and starting on Aegis. So he is ahead. It is being a very instrumental part in their victory, and I think it's always a mistake if you don't ban Blitz.
Yeah, and he's doing a great job of warding too. I want to point out that 2 men knew they were safe there because they could see. I mean, they have the whole triangular section around this blue buff warded. They have Baron. They have this brush, and so now they can see people backing at blue, so they knew they were okay. So yeah, they just need to extend their ward coverage to the bot lane. Maybe have a couple other people pick up a ward here and there. I see some empty slots on most of the team. Elise does have a ward, so it's good things coming out. Blitzcrank is going to catch Leona just being dumb. You can't just be in your own jungle doing whatever you want at this point in the game because there's a Blitzcrank.
I do like how how Graves, even though he's behind, he's trying to make himself relevant by picking up the Bloodthirster. He's trying to make himself do some damage, but it's not going to be enough late game. And we do see Galio come in and get off a nice kill. He still does have his ult, so hopefully Elise does not get caught again. And he does. He immediately throws down his ult, and Elise will die.
Yeah, that was just greediness right there. I think Elise thought he could pick up a kill there. Noobs could have gotten out by coming right back down onto Nautilus, because Nautilus had wandered right to the edge of his ring, and there was nobody around him. So that was just a little bit of a misstep. After some good things here, I guess the Knights of the Royal Knights of the Rift, of the Royal Rifting Knights, just wanted to clear that ward out really bad, so they just grouped up and they were like 5 on this ward now. I think they just need to stay grouped. That's where they're going to win the game if they catch tube men flailing around alone as opposed to flailing around
if they get a good engagement where Idle Duran goes off and taunts several people, and Nautilus is able to get his ult off on Varus, I think they can easily win the fight. It's just I don't think that they will let them do that. And it looks like they catch out Amumu here as well, and he probably will still go down.
You know, he ulted just a little preemptively. If he would have ulted and then he could grab the minions, they're not even there. I think he should have saved the grab for the Kha'Zix, because they did it. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought that was a purple ward. I was gonna say I thought he could grab Kha'Zix and get out, but yeah, that was just, and that really didn't do anything. Yeah, it pushed hard, but Graves just clears it with 1 buckshot, and we're back to normal things. So even though they were pretty far ahead, we see some mistakes coming out of tube men. They're kind of just flailing around wackily.
And the last time that I said that they could potentially come back, I did mean it, but I think it's more likely in this circumstance, because the gold advantage is in objectives like Dragon and Towers, and that gold will come back to Royal Knights if they group and start taking those objectives. Whereas before, a lot of it was kills, and even though the objectives are down, or you can take objectives, the other team can as well and get that influx of gold.
Yeah, that was just one big problem that tube men is having, is not staying grouped up together, and they're just...
We saw that at the tail end of last game as well.
Yeah, we did. I'm not sure if it's greed, but Elise can definitely no longer be on his own. Noobs Will Own You is being owned this game, so not necessarily owned, but he's significantly behind his counterpart in terms of dying a lot and giving up gold. But as you see, that's just, Elise is just one of those champs that even though he's behind, he doesn't have a lot of kills, he still makes himself relevant because of that percent health damage.
We see the grab from Amumu come out and miss. His ult is almost up, and I think it's up right now. So they are ready to engage, but it looks like Amumu will go bot to farm like they did previously. Noobs will go top to shove that lane, and mid lane will still be a little bit extended. So it does give leeway here for Royal Knights here to pick up a dragon, and as I said, close the gap on that objective. But it does look like 2 men here will fight for the dragon.
Yeah, but again, Noobs Will Own You is top, and you just can't be there at this point in the game. You know, it might cost this team a dragon, and it could be worse than a dragon. If they try to contend this and they don't contend it properly, they could just all die there.
Another thing is, a lot of people do place pink wards out here in the middle of the river, and that isn't always a bad decision. It should always be in the gap of the pit of the objectives, because it will cover the river and it will also cover the inside. So right now they can't see this blue ward. It's almost going to run out, so it's not of consequence. But if you put it in that gap, you'll be able to cover the whole river anyway. And it looks like Blitzcrank is going to be the first one to go down here. I'm not sure how that will work out. It did look like somebody canceled the Galio ult, and it looks like a fairly even trade as of right now. And 2 men is just a little bit more durable at this point.
Blue team double kill.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good trade.
For Royal Knights?
Yeah, for Royal Knights. That's what I was thinking, but they got the double on Kha'Zix, which is, he's a really good champ to get the double on. And they stay alive. They're going to lose the dragon, though. Yeah, Kha'Zix is really low. It's probably a good decision to go back. So yeah, I guess it ends up not being such a good trade for something that looked really good. Blitzcrank was able to get away, and I still think it's still a good trade though, as long as they're getting kills for their deaths.
Galio actually, his ultimate, when it started to go off, got canceled by something. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was a Lux Bind, or it was some, or Amumu's Curse of the Sad Mummy. But either way, it did get canceled. If his ult gets a chance to go to completion, it will be a much different team fight.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they were in a really good position. Blitzcrank was overextended. And it ended up working out for two men. They were just a little bit too far ahead for that one, and so yeah. But I wanted to point out this is the radius of the ward. Like he said, put it in the mouth here, and then you could get this whole backside.
I mean, a lot of people will just throw it down because they don't believe the placement is really that important. But it really does make a difference when you're clearing wards that are thrown through the back of the pit, which is where a lot of people will throw them if they can't come around in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, say you're standing here at the front of the pit fighting Dragon or even Baron, the enemy team's behind here getting ready to steal or engage. They toss their ward over the back, and then they could see like how low Dragon is, so they could even try to snipe it with one of their champions. I know not quite as well in this situation necessarily because, but say Royal Knights had Lux, or even their Graves can snipe it, but still it's just a...
But you want to see the real difference in this game, and as we said before, it is objectives. It is primarily dragons and other minor sources of gold that have brought them ahead, because they are down one kill and tied in turrets, but yet they're still ahead 5K in gold, and the reason for that is their ward coverage. Look at Baron, and the one on Dragon just went out, as opposed to the Royal Knights that have no ward coverage and are split.
Yep, Elise gets caught out here, but she repels up into the air and is able to survive long enough for her team to come in and give Varus another kill. And two men is in a really good position after that fight right now. They're not nearly as low as the Royal Knights, and so they might even go in here and dive this turret. I don't see why not. Yep, Varus is going to pick up the kill. Blitz's fist goes right through that dead corpse of a husk of a shell of a Kha'Zix, and Now they have a 5-3 fight over this turret, which means that this turret belongs to them. This is a really important turret right here. It's not quite as important as the first middle turret opening up map position, but it gives you access to the inhibitor turret.
And Galio's going to get caught out.
All the way to the back. That was like max extension on the Blitz fist there. So it's a great play by Angry Angular. And they're pinging Baron, so it looks like they might go try and take Baron. They have 9 seconds on Kha'Zix. This could be a risky decision here. I don't know that they need to, at this point, take Baron. I think they should just shove up their lanes, and then...
that was a mistake they made last time as well. They were really far ahead, and they tried to take Baron. But I think that right now it is, as I like to say at the beginning of the end, there's no inhibitor turret down, but it will go down soon. You just don't see the discipline from Royal Knights to win this game.
Yeah, and this is a big game for them because if they lose this game, that means that they do not make it into the tournament portion of the summer tournament or spring tournament. I'm sorry. So this is the last of the pool games this week, and their win will solidify two men into the tournament. Even though I just repeated myself like 3 times there. But that's okay.
There you go. We see Kha'Zix and Galio bot lane and Graves going bot lane while Baron is up. And they do see everybody in that bush with that one ward there that actually is pinked. I don't know if the pink reaches up to where that blue ward is.
This is a risky decision here. I know that they don't know that Kha'Zix and Galio are there yet. Now they do. So after they see them in lane, they know that it was a good call. But before they saw them in lane, it was kind of risky. But yeah, it ends up working out. Blitzcrank is going to back here. They're going to take Baron, and they're going to trade 1 turret for Baron here. And
they may just try to keep pushing and see what happens here, but and send this Nautilus to try to stop them from backing, but. I just think it's a poor decision overall.
Yeah, I mean, he did stop him from backing, but being dead for 46 seconds sure does stink. And they only get 1 turret for that Baron, whereas opposed to a Baron and a kill. So and a kill on Elise nonetheless. Somebody who's been struggling to pick up one kill all game. Tell me how you feel about Noobs Will Unused build. I'm not so sure I agree with it.
Well, really, you can build pretty much anything on Elise. I usually tend to build all Magic Pen and health. Magic Pen and health. That's all you really need on her because of her Q. Both Qs doing percentage health. But so she does have the Magic Pen with the Landry's Torment and gets a little bit of health in that deal. But I don't like the Athene's the Holy Grail. I think it's too expensive, and it doesn't really give. I mean, who is she really protecting herself? They have a Kha'Zix. And a Graves and a Nautilus. The only magic damage that they really has was her lane partner, and she bought an extremely expensive item to deal with him. So it really doesn't give her anything else that she couldn't already get with getting more damage or health or sustain.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think he's shooting for the cooldown reduction, but I think that the position he was in, he just needed to be tankier for this team. Not straight tank, because they do have a Blitzcrank and an Amumu, but I think that a tanky Elise would have been a much better option. I want to point out in chat that Taboo Noise says that when we were talking, I think that it's carried over from earlier when we were talking about the cleanse. He says that neither of those spells cancel Galio's ult. Or no, he was talking about, I'm sorry, the interrupts that we were discussing. So it must have been Blitzcrank's knockup. I thought he was talking about the cleanse. Cleanse does not cancel Galio's ult, but it does remove the slow and the taunt from you. So
it definitely canceled Galio's ult, and it didn't have to be his E, the knockup. It also could have been his silence from his R.
Grab, yeah.
I just did not see any one of those go off. I didn't see him get displaced. I just saw him stop, and so it probably had to have been his ult actually. But either way, it doesn't really matter. It's hard to get because everything 100% correct.
I missed the very beginning of that team fight, so we will never know. But he is going to be pulled in and killed this time without being able to even think about using his ultimate. And this is really it. I think this should be the last siege we'll see. They still have Baron for a small amount of time, and I think they're looking for blood right now. Blitzcrank just narrowly misses a grab over the wall, placing some wards so he could see things. I don't agree with Var's backing here. If I'm in Skype with him, I'm yelling at him to stay, because he's the one that's going to do damage to this turret. And I think they give up a great opportunity here by having Varus back, because this turret's not going to fall without him.
And it also wastes the Baron that they have, so it is kind of a bad decision. He's going to clear top lane. At this point, I don't think that top turret is really worth the removing the siege while they have Baron buff, because after a while, the gold that will not mean as much as it does now.
Yeah, I don't even think that the top turret was in danger of falling there, to be honest with you. So they're going to change their target bot lane to this secondary turret, and Kha'Zix jumps in for whatever reason.
I think they knew that they were split because the Amumu was bottom lane, and I think it was a good decision by them to go in on these two people, and they really had a heck of a time getting those two players there.
Yeah, that was just a horrible, and this goes back to why is Varus splitting and going top. I mean, it puts his team in a really tough position. There are not going to be enough jukes in the world to save her from those two tanks. And
Amumu cleans up the rest of the team, though. That just shows you how powerful Amumu can be.
There was the knock-up and grab while he was in the air. It's like the alley-oop of supporting, and it's pretty.
They definitely got the dunk. We actually traded 3 for 2 when Amumu was bot lane, Varus was back, and somebody else was top lane. So I mean, they got the Lux and Elise, but they certainly sacrificed a lot to do it.
Yeah, they're just so far ahead. I think that's what it comes down to. I think if they would have just stayed grouped, this game would have been over already. Instead of Varus worrying about one turret that is really insignificant at this point in the game.
And we have not seen the ult. There it is. There's the ult from Galio. It doesn't do anything at all at this point. He's just too underfed. He did a great job in lane, but this is why this is a team. This is a team game. And wow, Kha'Zix just melts Varus. And this is what I was talking about. Late game, the gold difference won't really matter. And it definitely didn't in that case. It just melted Varus. So if they can hold on, maybe they can turn it back, but I think it's highly unlikely.
Yeah, I'm just really confused at Galio and Leona's builds right now. I think the Bulwark should be on Leona. I don't think she should have a Banner of Command. I mean, Galio just should be building a ton of MR to stack up his passive, and he's just not doing it. There comes a Negatron Cloak finally, but the Bulwark is it's only 30 MR, where a Negatron Cloak is 40. So for a very expensive item, I mean, yeah, it's good for a team fight, but you could put that item on Leona, who really can't afford to build more than one really expensive item defensively, instead of the Banner of Command, because that gives her AP, and she's really not a champ that terribly needs that. The auras are good, but not as good as Aegis. I just don't agree with some of the building choices here, and the Wit's End on Nautilus also. I know some people like to build it. I'm not a fan of seeing it on him. His attack speed can be important, but the way his passive works is his stun's only up once per 8 seconds per champion. So. And
I agree. I think that I don't mind about the Wit's End. The Wit's End does increase his attack speed, therefore increasing his passive, which stuns everybody. I think it's 6 seconds max is the stun rate on him. So, and it also increases his magic resist. And against the Lux and the Elise, I think that it was an okay decision. But you're right. He seems to be building more damage oriented because he does have the Rylai's Crystal Scepter, and I would like to have seen more damage go down on Galio instead of what they did.
Yeah, Wit's End is a pretty good defensive item also, because the way the passive works on it is every auto attack stacks 5 MR, but I don't think that he needs to worry about MR. Varus has 13 kills right now, and all Gallia, or all these guys have, is magic resist, and it's just, I mean, we see a Rylai's Crystal Scepter on Nautilus, and I know that that's for his E, not his depth charge, I can't think of what it's called, but there's a big team fight going on down here, and Lulu's Curse of the Sad Mummy comes down, Varus is able to pick up Graves.
And this is the end of the game.
Yeah, Nautilus and Kha'Zix barely squeak out of it. Just a bad team composition, I think. I don't think that it has anything to do with...
He evaporates.
The playing of Royal Knights of the Rift. I just think it was a bad team comp. His Riptide, I'm sorry, yeah. His Riptide, that's what the Rylai's is for, to increase the slow, but the Riptide slow is already ridiculous. It's like 60 or 70% at that level. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, the Riptide does a lot of slowing. So Rylai is kind of the damage decision there may have cost them the game. So there you have it. We have 2-0 in favor of the wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube men, taking down the Royal Knights of the Rift. And
2-0.
Yeah, they're gonna move on into the tournament. They're 2-1 in their pool. They only lost to Team 11, who is 3-0. So congratulations to the tube men for making it out into the finals. The final countdown, the Tournament of Champions of Cincy.
Yeah, I mean, both very entertaining games, especially the team composition from Wacky Waving Inflatable Armful and Tubemen in the first game, because it was cool to see all of those ults stack on top of each other and literally obliterate that other army. But it is sad that that the other team will not move on, and that the Tubemen will.
You know, these things happen. It's not like you guys got to pick your own teams. You guys kind of got thrown together. I mean, hey, at least you had a chance. If you look at Pool A, there are 2 teams with diamond players on them, and the other 2 teams, I feel so bad for them because they had actually some great players on both Feed the Poros and... Oh, geez, I don't even remember the other team's name. It doesn't even matter. But I'm going to tell... Oh, it's Team 3, I'm sorry. So they both just got dominated and had no chance at all. Let me see. We have in Pool B, that bracket is also done, I believe. Yeah, that bracket is also done. Is it top 3? I thought it was top 2, but it might be top 3. No, it looks to be top 2 to me.
Regardless, they were both fun games to watch. I actually, if I could take anything to solo queue or ranked 5s, it would be definitely that first team comp that they ran. That's a devastating team comp. The Sona Crescendo, the Sejuani All, and those are champs that normally you're going to be able to get So it was just really good in the VAR assault. They all worked really well together, and I think they just overwhelmed them in that first game, especially with their ward coverage. And in the second game, their ward coverage was spot on, and the objectives lost the game. A lot of people they'll debate whether or not they should go take Dragon or whether they should finish the CS in their lane. Dragon is always worth it. As we see, the difference in that game, what was not towers, wasn't kills, it was Dragons for the first 10, 15 minutes of the game. Every Dragon, well, actually, it was probably 25 minutes of the game, every Dragon went to... I actually don't think the other team got a Dragon. I hate to keep going back myself, but the Dragons really made the difference in that game, and then ultimately Baron in that bad decision to push bottom tower for the Royal Knights. But overall, very good games, very fun games to watch, and I'm glad you guys joined us.
Yeah, I just want to point out that was the very last game of the group play. So we will be moving on to the tournament when you see us next. So hopefully more exciting matches to come as the best of the best of the U of Cincinnati are playing each other. So just a quick rundown we have from Pool A, Team Yellow Mid and Team Niger. Pool B, Digital Heretics and Arab Legion. Pool C, Team 11 and the Tube Men. And Team D, Mythic Dawn and who knows, because this pool is crazy. Mythic Dawn is 3-0, but Chaos Brigade, Wolfpack, and Fire Ferrets are all 1-2. With the same amount of game wins and losses. So I'm not sure how they're going to decide that. I think that the site will actually has a calculator for it, but it's going to be interesting to see. Maybe they might have to actually have a round robin.
Have a playoff, yeah.
Have a round robin with those three teams and let the victor come out. So we might have that happening. I'm not sure. I haven't heard from News Will Own You about that.
And they all lose to each other.
Yeah, that would be interesting. They all come out with the same stats again. But no, so congratulations to all those teams, and we will be back with the tournament, the bracket play, hopefully for you guys.
All right, yeah. Well, and once again, I'd like to thank my co-caster here, Twitch TV/Mangrease, where you can find him at, that beautiful man down there in the bottom.
That's right.
And I am at Twitch TV/Liquid Slick. We don't cast all that much all the time, but we will start casting in the future. So please check us out and at least click favorite or subscribe. That would help us out.
We appreciate it, and thank you guys for letting us be part of the Cincinnati Spring Tournament, and good luck to all the competitors in the future.